Hi, and welcome to Off the Clock Attorney Talk. I'm Scott Hislop.
And I'm Brad Crockett, and this is our next video in this series on estate planning. Today we're going to talk about how to find an estate planning attorney, what to look for in that attorney, and then how to prepare for any meeting you have with that attorney. So Scott, let's start at the beginning. How do you find an estate planning attorney in your area?
The best way to find an attorney, in my opinion, is to talk with your friends. See who they've used, if they enjoyed that person or not. Check with your CPA, check with your financial advisor, or other attorneys that you know who don't necessarily work in the estate planning field. So referrals is really the best way to find an estate planning attorney.
What if the people I talk to don't have anyone that they refer me to? Is there a way to find whether someone does estate planning?
You can go the old-fashioned way and look at advertisement, look online. And if you do go that route, as well as if you get a referral, it's always good to interview your lawyer before they become your lawyer. Ask them the questions, make sure there's a good communication connection, and that you have a good feeling, that you understand the fee structure, that you understand the relationship and how it's going to work, what's expected of you, and what you expect of that lawyer. There's no fear in asking questions. Lawyers are going to be working for you. That's the way it's supposed to be.
So Scott, if my wife and I have found an estate planning attorney that we want to use, what should we do to prepare for our first meeting?
Well, presuming that you both want to have your estate plan done at the same time with that same attorney, do some inventory, do some thinking before you get there. What are your goals? What do you value? What's important for your legacy? And understanding some of those things, making sure you're either on the same page or that you're not on the same page, because you can each do your own estate plan. These are difficult discussions and not always fun to talk about, but I think they're important to have gone through once or twice before, so that when the attorney asks you questions, you're ready to give some answers and or have already started that process of thinking. So looking forward to what's going to happen to children, who's going to take care of children, where your spouse wants to live. Is the house the same house they want to stay in? Do they want to be in the same spot? Is there sufficient life insurance to take care of where you want to go, what you want to do? What are the assets? Where are the assets? And making sure that both spouses understand where those are and have an idea of where they can find the information and feel comfortable talking about that at least a little bit.
All right, so once my wife and I have had those conversations, what sort of things should we bring with us to the meeting?
Once you've done the inventory and had those discussions, it's important to bring that information with you to the meeting. What about my retirement account? What does our savings account look like? What do our houses look like? What kind of personal property do we have? What's the family heirloom that's important? And understanding the values of those different assets when you come is important. So bringing the income value, the fair market value, the debt value, that information is helpful to the estate planning attorney.
So when you're talking about values, how specific do I need to be in terms of the value of my property?
Yeah, rough numbers is sufficient in my opinion. You don't need it to the penny. The concept of getting values is to help the lawyer figure out where you might be on an estate tax scale. Most states have estate tax. The federal government has an estate tax. And having those values is important to allow the attorney to utilize the tools that are available for your personal information and your personal circumstances.
What if I don't have some of the specific information you're looking for? Should I reschedule my appointment or push it off?
Getting started is the most important thing. Get off and get going and get moving. So if you don't have all the information, go anyway. And then talk with them, because there's invariably going to be a time when you've got more questions that need to be answered, or the attorney's going to ask you questions that you're going to want to get information on or talk to your spouse about. So get started, get going, and you can always find the additional information.
How long does the process take to, once I've met with the attorney, to have my estate plan completed?
That's variable on the plan that actually gets created, depending on the level of sophistication, the tools used, and that sort of thing. It can go as quickly as a week, 2 weeks. It can take a while, depending on what needs to happen and what assets need to get moved where.
Thanks, and thanks for joining us on this next video in this series on estate planning. As always, please feel free to subscribe, comment, and like.
And if you want to learn more about our firm, check our website or look at us on LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook.